Hello class, my name is Christopher Rockwell and this is my week 1 video review for MUX term 1308. The format I decided to do my heuristics evaluation sheet and review here in this video is I'm going to actually bounce back from my review sheet on into, as you can see right here on the right, this is my actual iPhone here. I'm actually scrolling through. What I'll do is open up the actual apps that I've chosen to compare and evaluate, and kind of, basically back up my evaluation and kind of show you what I'm trying to say or what I'm getting at. So what I'm going to do, on the left here is the Smarter app, as you can see here, and on the right, iContext Pro is right here. So right here on the left side, let's start with the visibility of app status. The Smarter app, actually, when you open it, you see the loading bar here. It actually loads everything up. If you search contacts, if you click on the contact, if you notice it loads right there. So it does give you feedback when it's trying to load a particular section of the app. Let's bounce over to the other application, iContext Pro. See the loading bar there? It actually loads that up. And everything else pretty much doesn't require too much loading. But any loading that happens within any of the apps, it actually loads up. Let's see, the match between app and real world. What I say would line up as I put here in my heuristics evaluation sheet. The application asks for permission for the contacts and the calendar information. On the Smarter app, it actually asks if they can access all your contacts. So what this doing is taking everything you already have and bringing it into this specific application. So I feel like that does line up with your current user environment, and it's pulling in everything you already have and making it relevant to the app that you're using. So both of these apps do that. The Smarter Contacts app just pulls in the contacts and the calendar, and the iContext Pro app pulls in just the contacts for use. I think this app gives you pretty much freedom to navigate, and always gives you an escape hatch, as we called it. In the Smarter app here, when you're searching, you can hit cancel. This is pretty much the home screen right here you're looking at right now. Let me move this over a little bit. And then when you search contacts, you could always hit cancel right here and go right back. And then if you're within a contact, you could always hit home and go right back to where you were. So this app definitely has escape hatches. It has a cancel button. If you edit in the contact, decide you don't want to edit, you just hit the cancel button. You can go back home. So this app has really good control and freedom for users to feel comfortable navigating to certain places within the app, as well as iContext Pro, which this is tab based. So the escape hatches aren't readily available, and what I'm meaning is you don't see any back buttons as I navigate through these certain sections. But if you were able to leave that particular section and go within the contact, you always have that back button to go back. Or if you want to edit the contact, you have that back button to go back to where you were. So even though they're using different methods of doing it, they still pretty much have user control and freedom. So let's go to error prevention. Both of these apps don't really have good error prevention, because when you type in numbers, they're generally 10 digits. This app doesn't check for that. Say if I want to add a number here, add a phone number, I can pretty much type whatever I want here and hit done, and it'll save it. With these apps, you have to be very cautious on how you type in numbers and stuff, because it's not going to really go in and check anything for you or help you prevent these errors, as well as email address. So you can see the email address here. I just have random stuff. I don't have an @.com or anything like that. So these apps are not really preventative as far as errors that you might make. So you really have to be careful. These apps do have pretty much straightforward understanding. Everything is consistent within the applications. The way you view everything, the way you edit everything in the UI is consistent. The colors, the navigation. So there are no really big issues with their consistency of their design. Um, and these applications, they all, let's say the smarter app first. Everything is pretty much consistent. You can recall the home button in each section because it's always a home button. If you edit, you hit cancel, there's a home button. Uh, there's an edit button in every contact. So there's nothing different in each contact. No matter if you have one contact or 1,000, everything is pretty much the same. So it makes it easy to recognize and recall the certain buttons or functionality within the app. So everything is pretty much easy to recall within the Smarter Contacts app. And the iContacts Pro app the same. I mean, you edit up here, no matter what contact you're in, your back button, no matter what section of the app you're in, you always have that back button to rely on. So everything pretty much is recognizable to the users and makes it pretty much fluid to accomplish tasks. And the flexibility, although at first I liked the Smarter Contacts app better, but as I look at the structure of it, the user interface is much better than the iContacts Pro. But the fact that if you're not searching for a contact, this list is not alphabetized. Like, it's just random. I'm not sure how it sounds like they just pulled the data and just randomly placed it within this list. And that could be hard for somebody who's trying to look for a name that they don't readily know. They might know a particular spelling, or they might have made a spelling error, or just anything where you want to scroll through the list and you might know it start with an S, but you trying to get all the S's, but you can't, so you have to keep scrolling until you roll upon it. And also the fact that, let's go over to the iContacts Pro app. You're able to jump to a certain letter. So like I say, if you know the name over in this app, the Smarter app, it starts with a Z. You have to scroll, just keep scrolling. You're not going to really know when you're going to run into a Z, because A is not alphabetized, and B, there's no way to jump to a certain letter of the alphabet. So I feel like that's not as flexible. It is flexible because you can search for the name, but it's not flexible because you can't scroll through manually and find a contact as easy. Whereas the iContacts Pro, like I mentioned, is flexible in the way that you can do both. I mean, you can go up here and you can search for the name specifically, and also you can go through and say if I want to find that same name, Chris, I can go to the C's up here and find it. So it's more flexible in that way, and I feel like it'd be much more simple to use and less of a hassle on day-to-day operation. In the Smarter app, the user interface was minimalistic as far as everything that you see within the view is relevant. I mean, you want to see the history, the comment, these are notes and stuff. If you want to edit the contact, if you want to go home, that's all consistent, and everything is usable and needed. Within the iContacts Pro, the only thing I could find is in the favorites. It has the symbol up here to send a contact, but if you don't have a contact in the favorite section, that shouldn't be there, because it's kind of like basically an extra option that is not needed. Because if I don't have any favorite contacts, a user might think you should probably take that out, and then if I have any, then you place that back in there. That way a user's not confused. They're not going over to the settings and sending you feedback because this button is not working for me, everything's grayed out, why can't I send my contact? So just to kind of keep the errors narrowed down, I think it would be best to just take that out when it's not needed. Like I say, both of these applications, as you can see here, help users recognize and diagnose and recover from errors. Both of these applications don't have error messages whatsoever. Like I've tried everything, and if I type in the wrong type of email address, it doesn't give me errors. Not enough digits in the number, or not the right format, I don't get errors. So it's not really error driven. You have to just kind of be a thorough user, because they're not going to give you any feedback for the most part. The help and documentation. The Smarter app, it has this documentation on the home screen. You hit the settings button and you go all the way down to support, and it has the features, which walk you through all the features. It has a support site and the frequently asked questions. You can also email feedback to report problems that might not be within the other two sections of the support. Um, Now the iContext Pro doesn't have as many. It actually only has one section to send feedback, um, which can be overwhelming if the user or the developer of this app has, let's say, just even 5,000 users. I mean, you're gonna get at least 100, you know, errors from any given user. So I mean, to deal with feedback like that, I feel like it's not the best way, because you want some basic errors to be fixed just based off having documentation instead of just everybody sending in just simple stuff. Um, so both of these apps have different methods, but they all have their pros and cons. I'm really excited that I did this evaluation, because the more I answered these questions, the more I understood the importance of this evaluation. And actually, as I move over to the article I covered from the library, the article I covered is from Entrepreneur Magazine or Entrepreneur.com. It's called Lessons in App Building. It's a really neat article. It actually covers marketing and design from an actual marketer's standpoint. It was two particular individuals that started. They had a marketing firm, and they sold it, as you can see here, for $150 million, because they wanted to get off into the development world and start building apps. And what they did was, the first app they did was called Checkpoints, and it launched in 2012. And they kind of go through the mistakes they made with their first app. And they said the main thing was trying to develop it too fast, or trying to build it too fast, and not focusing on their features. And the way it ties in with marketing is the fact that your users, they're not able to enjoy something that doesn't work because they built it too fast. It was buggy. These big errors because they were trying to incorporate this broad view of features instead of focusing on each feature and rolling them out slowly. So they kind of go through their mistakes they made. And one big quote they had was, building an app is like building a house. You need to put time into thinking about what the rooms are going to look like before you start building. So they were saying it's always good to map out each feature and focus on each feature one at a time and roll them out separately, or if you roll out a certain amount, to make sure they're all focused as importantly as the other. Don't focus on these certain features and then add these on to the back, because what's going to happen is it's going to mess up your marketing from the standpoint that the app is not going to function, which is killing your user reviews, which your app is not likely to be spoke about in a positive light. If somebody tells you, "Oh, it's like a neat app," you'll look at them and say, "Well, this app doesn't function properly," which will pretty much kill any hopes at having a successful app. So this was very informational. They kind of go through the steps of how, unlike marketing and other aspects, which packaging is only so far, goes so far when dealing with products, but dealing with apps, that is your whole brand, your design, your user interface, your user experience. That's how you market your app. And I really enjoyed this week. I learned a lot doing the heuristics evaluation, amongst the other things. Hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I have. Thank you for watching. You all have a great day.